Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, good evening. This presentation normally takes 2 hours, but I'm going to give it in 3 minutes. Allow me to start. The previous speakers talked about, if you have success stories, shout them out. Let me just shout these stories on Rwanda. Rwanda is the sixth fastest growing economy in Africa. I think Uganda is ahead of us on that. And we are the safest country, fifth safest country in the world. Lowest ratio of corruption. There is zero corruption or zero tolerance policy in Rwanda. We have a business-friendly environment. We are a regional platform for IT, and we are an IT-ready state. That is the success story. How did we get there? I think what it calls for every country is just to set the basics right. And I thank the honorable speakers and the previous speakers from Uganda, what they talked about, not only Uganda, but entire region, and making reference to Rwanda in some cases. And what Rwanda did was to set up policies and institutions that create a big, good, friendly environment for business. And there we rank one of the best countries where it is easy to do business. Second is to enact policies that are business friendly and setting up appropriate institutions. In Rwanda, you will hear of an institution called Rwanda Development Board. That is your gateway into Rwanda. You want to know about business opportunities, information about business, having your business registered, it is all in one-stop shop in Rwanda. And entire process takes less than 6 hours, and you have your registration certificate. Ladies and gentlemen, there are quite a lot of opportunities for investment in Rwanda. I will just say the headlines. If you want the details, you come to me later. There is in manufacturing, especially light manufacturing, in mining and quarrying, we have agriculture and agro-processing. I can't agree more with the previous speakers who talked about value addition. In BPOs and ICT, in knowledge and education, in finance, in tourism, in housing, and in real estate, in infrastructure development, in energy and water, plus many more. If you want details on this, I will get in touch with you later. The biggest challenge on our economies has always been size of the market. I thank Uganda and the President of Uganda for his lead in creating active and operational regional economic blocks. So the East African Community, COMESA, and Africa are providing good opportunities for business people in the region. You may ask, how do you get in Rwanda? We have a direct RwandAir flight from London to Kigali. Meanwhile, as we wait for Uganda Airlines to start, don't hesitate to use RwandAir. And it flies every day of the week. So you are welcome to Rwanda and continue to Uganda. Thank you so much. My name is Joseph Kabakeza. I come from Rwanda, not Uganda. When I say Rwanda and Uganda, people tend to confuse. We are neighbors, yes.
Remember
the
borders were colonial decisions.
Exactly. And I work with the High Commission here. I oversee trade and investment matters. The small question I have for Engineer David, infrastructures, especially roads, those that are most expensive, and private people don't want to come in free. But he talked of user pay type of roads. Who invests in these? I was thinking of a highway from Kampala to Kigali on a private user way, a private investor coming in, putting it up. I think that would relieve the burden from government. Are there private investors willing to come into developing such a project? Thank you.
Now, the issue of whether the private sector can really invest in roads, we have a number of examples. I'll begin with, okay, this is like a hypothetical. Look at the Kampala Express where government borrowed money and the road users actually, the first charge of the money being collected is going towards repaying the loan. So government borrowed money from China Exim Bank. That money, whatever toll collections we make, we put them in an escrow account, take off the operating costs, and the balance goes towards loan service. Government provides the subsidy to be able to cover that up. Now, while we're trying to seek the private sector, government doesn't have the money to provide the infrastructure we need now, and we cannot wait for forever. Now, if you go to Nairobi, they have this system of elevated highways. This is a purely private investment, and whoever uses that highway pays. And it can be modeled, and somebody can come and invest, and it can recover the investment over an agreed concession period, and the city gets rid of the traffic jam. Users who don't want to sit in jams can be able to pay and enjoy journey certainty. If you want to get to the airport in 30 minutes, you get there in 30 minutes. You don't have to wait for an hour or 3 hours, even miss your flight. So that's a model on which we're trying to pick it up, and we're not short of interested suitors who will be able to take it on. And another project which we're implementing, again, it's going to be a private investment, is the elevated light rail project. Now, our plan in the future is to make sure we get rid of border borders in the city, so that border borders stop being the main source of people movement in the city. If we do the elevated light rail, we shall be able to say border borders get out of the city, users have an alternative. It becomes like a bus rapid transit, people can pay for use, and the investment is recovered through user charges. Now, when we go to the issues of walkways, disability facilities, green spaces, all the new roads we're implementing, either using World Bank funding or African Development Bank, borrowed facilities, or even government of Uganda facilities, must have walkways embedded and disability facilities also provided. Previously, this was not the case, but all new infrastructure we're implementing, it's a requirement, they must have these facilities provided. Now, I'll give you an example. The flyover phase 1, we're going to acquire where the electoral commission is going to be converted into a green space, so the public can be able to enjoy it. Of course, due to impunity, most of the green spaces have been occupied and taken over, but moving forward, we're trying to recover them. Then border borders. The issue of border borders is a serious issue. The main vehicle of crime in the city is border borders. Biggest source of accidents in the city is border borders. About 10 people die every day due to border activities. So we're trying to get rid of border borders where we're heading in the future. It may be a source of comfort now, but you don't know what's happening to the innocent public who don't know that these riders are not trained to be on the roads. So we're trying to move towards streamlining border activities in the city. Now, the car-free day, as you know, Kampala is one of the most polluted cities in the world. I should speak at the moment. Now, this car-free day concept is intended to promote clean air, encourage walking, so that people can be able to know that we can begin to improve the air quality standards in the city. So the car-free day is going to be on the 7th of September 2024, and we're going to begin encouraging people to ride to work, walk to work, so that they can be able to reduce the pollution in the city. Then the issue of misuse of facilities. Again, this goes to mindset change. People need to become responsible. Users need to become responsible. Why should a border ride on a walkway? Why should somebody build in a green space? So we are holding a number of awareness campaigns so that people know that they need to become responsible to improve the quality of life in the city. I guess I've tried to cover most of the questions that were asked.
Thank you. I wanted to touch a little bit about mass transport, because I did hear sometime in a report that we needed about 3,000 buses for mass transport to fix Kampala mass transport. Was that a true number?
Of course, we signed off a concession agreement with a company called Metu, which is supposed to deploy about 2,000 buses in the city. Of course, the challenge with that is that if we don't build dedicated bus lanes, it will become like a big minibus. So the investors got in some challenges, hoping that we build the dedicated lanes that will help his business work out. So currently the number we're planning to deploy is about 2,000 buses in the city.
Just again for clarity, is that an exclusive concession license, or can members in the room also come and get concession licenses?
That is an exclusive license. He has exclusivity to be able to recover his investment for the risk he's taking. So he has an exclusivity for a period of 15 years.
Well, a recent example in London is the new Elizabeth line, which, if anybody hasn't been on it yet, it's amazing. Thank you. So it's an amazing new train line going right from East London to West London, under the city. It was funded by government money, but it was also funded by, there's a membership organisation called Business LDN, used to be called London First, if anyone's familiar with that. And they're the membership organisation of the biggest corporates in London, representing at least 25% of the GDP of London. And they put funding into that project. So it was government and, in effect, private, from members of a business membership organisation.
For us, as I say, what we do is we partner up from the start to make sure that a project is a priority. Mm-hmm. If it is a priority, the government is going to back it. Mm-hmm. If the government back it, there's multiple resources for finance. To touch on what Francois was talking about earlier, they have 1 to 2 billion worth of financing available through UKEF for Uganda. Mm-hmm. So if the project is a priority, mm-hmm. the financing should never become an issue.
So if I get a project and I stall, I can come back to UKF and we can move forward with it.
In the original answer I was giving you.
Let me take it to Ms. It's a challenge we have across the region. So we're not just talking about Uganda. It's a challenge. So we'd like to see what we have on that, since we're talking infrastructure today.
Yes, I feared it was going to end up like that. Each time you ask a question about finances, am I the last one, or can I give to somebody else? After?
No. It ends at you, sir.
No, I think you're right. I mean, if we have the capacity, we will certainly look at the project. Now, those projects tend to be complex projects, and what we see from experience is you have different financial stakeholders who will look at it. And it's important to keep that in mind, because you can get sources of funding which are cheaper from other financial stakeholders. What we give is link, as I mentioned, to the UK export. And I think when you look at those projects, you really have to look at all what's on offer and end up with a kind of a blended funding, if you want. Okay. But if the project is good, if we are satisfied with the risk and the counterparty risk, and if we get the right support from the authorities, yes, we look at those projects.
Great, thank you so much.